At the edge of this town is a temple famous for grazing the shoreline. Yonggung Temple of Haedong is one of the 3 shrines of the Buddhist goddess of mercy. She is known to grant at least one wish to each fervent devotee. The temple is also a famous sunrise observation spot. As always, the sun rises over the sea. This is a place some people come with desperate hearts. Others have been making a living in this region for several generations. This is Gijang, a county of ancient tradition, and its 9 harbors have been its centers of activity along the years. Gijang is located in the northeastern part of Busan. To its west lies Yangsan-si, South Gyeongsang Province, and to the north, Uljugun, Ulsan. It has a population of 80,000. Located right on the east coast, Gijang was always one of the most important fisheries in the southernmost region. The name Gijang is thought to mean the first village you come across when you return from sea. Befitting its reputation as a sea town, Gijang contains many harbors. The first place we stumble upon as we arrive in Gijang is the U-shaped Gongsu Harbor. Most fishermen own small boats and catch fish from the sea to make a living. The busiest place around this time of year is the squid drying area in a corner of the harbor. Squid fills the area, hanging to be dried. The people walking indoors are the busiest, cleaning the squid. They are removing the guts to clean the squid.
12월 달 지금 이때가 제일로 바빠요. 제일로 작업 일수가 많고. 다른 날은 이제 한 15일 정도 한 달에 한 15일 정도밖에 못 하는데 이제 12월 달만큼은 한 20일 넘어가게 할 수 있어요.
Approximately 3,000 squid are brought in to be cleaned daily. The drying process continues for 3 months when squid are in season from November to January. After the squid are gutted, they are washed in seawater once again. This way, the squid maintains its salty flavor. The squid that was taken to the drying area are left in the sun for a week or so.
겨울 짧은 해가 햇살이 많고 또 바람도 잘 통하고 또 이제 바닷가가 원래 여기서 이제 말라야 해산물은 바닷가 옆에서 말라야만 맛이 있어요. 싱싱하고.
Gongsu Harbor has the best conditions to dry squid. Plenty of wind and plenty of sunlight due to the low height of mountains nearby. Just a few years ago, there used to be more than 7 drying facilities in the area. However, as the harbor was developed, they started disappearing, and this is the last one left.
좀 아쉬움이 많이 남죠. 내 평생을 여기서 이 건조만 내가 한 그중 30년 가까이 했는데 야, 좀 뭐랄까 앞으로 이걸 끝나고 나면은 이제 내 나이가 65세인데 아버지로서 이제 아들한테 떳떳한 이제 그 뭐랄까 그 저기 내 벌이도 없어지고 그 내 업이 없어지니까 좀 그런 걸 생각하면은 좀 아쉬움이 많이 남고.
Not many things stay the same over time. Nevertheless, the villagers were able to make a living up until now thanks to the harbor. Because the coastline of Gijang is smooth without any curves, many harbors were able to develop in this area. Its major harbors go by the name 9 Harbors of Gijang. They include the 9 harbors from Kal Harbor to Hwaseol Harbor in Janganup that stretch along the shoreline. We pass Gongsu Harbor and head to Muji Harbor, the biggest of the 9 harbors. We stop in our tracks at the site of a group of female divers. The women are getting ready to dive into the sea. They wash their goggles with mugworts to keep them from fogging up in the water.
비비면 속물이 나온다 이가 숨이 죽어가. 그래 요 속물로 가지고 요래 닦으면 물에 들어가면 이게 이 아지랑이가 안 낀다 이게 아지랑이가.
This is wisdom they learn through experience. The divers go into the water without oxygen tanks. The history of Gijang's female divers started when they moved here from Jeju 130 years ago. There are 500 or so female divers that make a living off of the coastal waters of Gijang. They are busy all year long thanks to the sea that is generous and giving every season. These days, green sea urchins are in season. They dive in as far as 5 meters below the surface at once. Only then can they find a greater variety of seafood. They come home after 6 hours of work. The heavy-looking net tells us that their catch wasn't too bad today.
전부하고 해삼하고 소라하고 많이 잡았으니 미역도 따로 안 따오는데 성게
The collected sea urchins are taken to a nearby workspace. We follow the divers to Port Shinam, which used to be Muji Harbor. Green sea urchins, which look like round chestnuts, are in season from late fall to winter.
말똥성게가 요 시기에 지금 11월, 12월 요 사이에 제일 알이 많이 차가. 제일 알이 많이 좋을 때라고.
This is the season when sea urchins are full of eggs and they become sweeter and more fragrant. Most of the green sea urchins that are caught in the coastal waters of Gijang are exported to Japan. The divers make a living by selling the sea urchins.
14살 때 국민학교 근거리 근거리 졸업하고 그 질로 바다에 들어갔는 게 이적기 하고 나왔지. 그리고 65살이니까네. 그래 자식 7 다 미기고 대학생이고 먹고 살고.
It may be tiring, but the sea is generous to anyone who works hard. This is why people have settled down in this area for generations. Port Taebyun, along with Port Shinam, used to be part of Muji Harbor. It is large enough to be selected as a national fishing harbor. Port Taebyun started being used as a harbor since after the Japanese invasion, when it served as a military base. The harbor was created mostly of cliffs and was the perfect naval base. The Chakhwabi Memorial stands at one side of Port Taebyun. The memorial was built by Heungsan Daewon-gun in the late Joseon period. It tells us that Port Taebyun was an important location militarily.
어촌인 것 같고 그냥 조용한 것 같아도 1500년 초부터 해서 이곳은 우리 기장뿐만 아니고 동네 우리 남해안에 군사 요충지로서의 아주 중요한 군사적 활동을 한 곳이다. 그렇게 보시면 됩니다. 1920년대 일경들에 의해서 이 비석을 물에 빠뜨립니다. 없애려고. 왜냐하면 자기들하고 관계가 있으니까. 그런데 해방이 된 다음 해
It was retrieved by the young men of the village and placed in its current location. Port Taebyun is famous for its lively atmosphere throughout the year. The atmosphere remains the same even in the cold winter. The squid boat that went out to sea the previous night is coming back to shore. The harbor becomes even busier. The sea has once again shown its generosity. Women clean the freshly caught squid in one corner of the harbor.
봄, 가을에는 멸치, 젖담치, 그러고 멸치까지 겨울에는 미역도 하고 오징어도 따고 엄청 많지.
The harbor gives up its rich resources throughout all the seasons from spring to winter. The fish market attracts customers with cheap, fresh fish. The image and name of the harbor has changed along with the rest of the world, but the richness of the sea has yet to change.
이 묘도 맛있다니까, 이 기장 묘. 아이고, 안경 맞죠. 됐다, 이봐라.